Welcome to Tech It or Leave It, the #1 podcast in Web3 and emerging tech. I'm your co-host, Lana Makhzoumi.
And Yusuf Al-Alami.
And today's guest, guys, we have a legend in the room with us.
We're dressed all proper today.
We are dressed all proper, yeah. We look pretty profesh. Yeah. He's been an OG in the space and been in crypto for over a decade. He worked as the COO of Midchains for some time, then became the GM for one of the biggest crypto companies in the world, where he actually led the team that got the company to acquire the proper license for VARA, which is a government entity that allows for crypto companies. He has since left his post as GM and now is the founder of Redefined. Please welcome Alex Chehade on the show.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome.
Alex, thank you for being here today. We're so excited to have you on. I think Yusuf has spoken about you since we were like, let's do a podcast. Like, I need Alex on. I'm like, all right, let's get this guy on.
It's actually funny because how this came about was probably like a week before the Euro finals.
Yes,
we
true.
wanted to get on call because like we were messaging on WhatsApp and he's like, oh, by the way, this happened. And we wanted to get on call and you were in some countryside and we couldn't find a proper connection. And then, the finals happened. Sorry. It was a well-fought game. And then one thing led to another. From the countryside, we're here now.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
Now we're here at Luna.
Dubai. Yeah. So why don't we just get into it?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your transition from general manager of Binance into starting your own thing with your co-founder. Yeah. What was giving that resignation notice like? Because you were there for a while.
Yeah, and there's a lot of contingencies.
Yeah.
There's a team I've got to look after. There's responsibilities. There's stakeholders. So it's a big decision. But I think the key driver is one of the things that people say in the crypto market, especially, is like, if in doubt, zoom out. And I think I'd spent too much time concentrating on running exchanges, and I wanted to enjoy crypto more. I wanted to learn more about crypto, and to do that, you need to sort of step away from these responsibilities of running such a big exchange, right? And so that was the thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to take time out. I wanted to, not have that responsibility. Spend time with my family. And start to look and enjoy crypto again. Crypto is such a big experiment. We're so early. We get caught up, and it seems like a long time. And now there's people old like me in crypto, and people even a little bit older, and they say they're too old for crypto. Yeah. But so it's at the point where we can actually start building things. And I still think that we're not there yet with really activating and getting mass adoption. But I think stepping away and being able to do my own thing it will enable that.
Yeah. What I admire since I've known you about you is that a lot of the moves you do are very ambitious. It's not like a new role or a new thing. You work at a very high level in terms of the people and industry leaders that you work with. You're working shoulder to shoulder with the regulators or government level people or national level people. And so, just from the couple of years that I've known you, you've gone from leading company in a leading position from one to another. I'm sounding like he's like hopscotching. It's not like that, but you make your serious contribution, then you move on. How do you know when it's the right time for you to move on and start a new chapter in life?
You don't, but you have to take a plunge, right? You don't always make the right decisions, but I think it got to a point where I've achieved what I needed to achieve, and I'm looking for the next set of achievements. And within Binance and within the market, the responsibilities hold me to decisions, right? And so to then grow, I need to sort of step away from that and sort of start guiding my own decisions. And I think it's only since my now youngest daughter, Olivia, that's when I realized that when I see her, I
Yeah.
realize how brave she is, and I'm like, I guess that must come from me.
Wow.
Yeah. You're like, that's where the quality came from.
But that's what my wife tells me. She stands up to like anyone, and it's hilarious.
It is a brave thing, though, to like get uncomfortable, because when you're in any position, I think for a long period of time or even a short period of time, you get comfortable, and then to make that leap or take that step or start your own company, start your own thing, it takes bravery. That's definitely it.
As long as you embrace that and you can enjoy it, right? There's the uncertainty, you can learn. As long as you're sort of making headway, then it's good, right? Like not everyone embraces that, right?
That's
so,
true.
You know, it does depend. But if you embrace uncertainty, and you know, I enjoy making decisions, I enjoy sort of looking at how things are working and making a decision. So uncertainty is good for me, I think.
How did you start in the crypto space or in the space in general? Like, how did you first hear about crypto? Where were you?
So I was trading around 2009, credit crisis, and you know, every day we were coming into work, and you know, everyone's like, anyone know what's going on? We're like, nope. We'd turn on our screens, we would see banks failing, we'd see like the movement in the stock indices, just ways we'd never seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, it was shocking. So, you know, at that point, we were obviously aware that, you know, traditional finance, traditional markets have problems. And then, you know, obviously Bitcoin was born out of that. I was a physics grad, so, I mean, I've been a member of Reddit since, you know, I think 2004 or 5.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh, gee.
And so obviously, you know, it was a big thing with internet magic money. So, you know, it was within my viewpoint. And then I think around 2012, I bought some crypto with a couple of other guys in London, because we're now talking about it and it's sort of becoming into prominence. But then I sort of left it alone. You know, we bought it. I was comfortable enough that, you know, a lot of what drives crypto is people trying to change the paradigm, right? People that are upset with, you know, traditional finance. People are upset with central banks. People are upset with all these things. Fortunately enough, I wasn't in a position of too much pain. I had a comfortable life.
Yeah.
I didn't need to embrace any anarchy, and so I shelved it. And I worked at a brokerage company. We had some Bitcoin, Litecoin trading, but no one really traded it. And you know, a few of the guys I became buddies with would always tease me, like, "I still got your Bitcoin," and you know, I just left it home, right? I didn't. I wasn't like watching it all day, and it wasn't. You know, a lot of people that go like all in, you know, then it's more panicky, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
This is how traders make mistakes. They overextend themselves. I mean,
They get
you know, with
emotional.
Bitcoin, maybe they've done a good job because, you know, as long as you've held on, you've done it right. But lots of people, you see lots of memes of people selling on the lows and saying, "Oh, Bitcoin's over at 2 cents." You know, these kind of things, which is madness. But then I was here in 2016, and I exited an FX company, and I'd done that a couple of times, and I thought again, you know, why am I doing the same thing when I can go learn more about crypto? And I was fortunate enough to be here, and lots of people were coming here, you know, putting events on. You know, there's a little bit of a crypto scene, but like it was nice to sort of sit, read, enjoy, go to meetups, talk to people. And then I thought, yeah, I'm comfortable with this. I started helping a few financial services companies and private individuals trade Bitcoin, talk to OCC desks. And then 2019 came around, and that's when ADGM put out the regulations to have digital assets in a MTF. So then I joined the guys, two co-founders of Midchains. We set that up. We got it off the ground. And then Richard obviously left ADGM, briefly doing nothing. Then met CZ, came on to Binance. We were all like, we're like, wow, he's gone for it. Like, big move. And then Richard brought a few of the people that he knew and trusted across. And then, within that sort of circle, they said, do I want to go set up the Dubai exchange? And I thought that would be a perfect opportunity for transition. And then a different set of problems, right? Like, again, setting up a small company and trying to scale that, and then dealing with the size and scale of Binance. So.
Yeah. Well, you joined Binance I wouldn't say early on, but at a pivotal time for Binance. There's a lot that happened since you joined for the company, in stuff that's happening just around the world. I mean, I think that the company size just by employee has something like 10x since you joined. It was not as big.
There was an inflection point. One of the guys who interviewed me, who's since left, but I think he was the first hire in the UAE for Binance, and he was around about employee 1,000.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And then shortly after I joined, I think we got up to about 6,000, 7,000.
Yeah.
So like it was a massive scale, right? Like the markets were expanding, and then it's a fight for everyone, right?
Yeah.
It's a global market, and so this is the difference between like sort of crypto and other markets that there are regional discrepancies, but still it's a global platform.
Yeah.
And so you can scale like that quickly.
Yeah. I want to touch on a point because, and this is something that we talk about with most of our guests over here, just because we're in the context of Dubai and UAE. You said that you've met the first hire out of the UAE and he was employee number 1,000, but since then, like Dubai and ADGM and Vara and even Rackdow and other players are positioning the country as the place to be when it comes to Web3. What was that like for you? Because I know, you've been in the space when it was kind of like a legal gray area, which is just about the time I joined, and it was a bit scary and it was a bit weird. And the meetups, like GITEX, World Blockchain Summit, when it was part of GITEX, it was like tiny compared to what it is now.
I remember, by the way, I used to cover those events.
Yeah.
Tiny.
What was it like for you to be working with these top level guys throughout the years? How has that changed? Was it like a fight? Because there's a lot of companies coming in and they're competing for labor. That's one thing they're competing about. You posted about the talent gap as well. Do you think this gap in talent is gonna shorten or change, or is the demand always gonna be super high over here, where it's always gonna be like, we need this?
So the UAE has made decisions to embrace crypto and digital assets, right? And so, the earliest that I can remember was the government blockchain strategy, and I think Dubai Land Department put some stuff on the blockchain very early, more like proof of concept. And from that point on, we knew that settlement crypto digital assets was something on the roadmap for the government. And then we saw the ADGM come out with their rules to add virtual assets, as they call them, within their financial services regulation. So that allowed a lot of people to sort of look in. And then we've seen Dubai established just as a virtual asset regulator. And so that shows you that, from the top down, that there is a demand to bring crypto here. Now, it's super strategic. I don't think any other country is well situated enough, right? Because you have Europe and you have East Asia, and we're right in the middle, and so we can service all of these time zones really easily. We got the connectivity, we got the infrastructure, and so this is a great industry for the leadership here to say, right, this is something we can capitalize on. A lot of other places don't have the ability to scale, right? So Singapore, Hong Kong, these were places where there was a lot of people building on blockchain and looking at it, but they can't scale. There's a human capital issue for visas, whereas here, as you say, Binance scaled very quickly, and the other exchanges did as well, right? Like it's much easier to bring people here. People with their families, people without their families, and they can adapt. It's totally multicultural. Whichever country you come from, you can find people to hang out with, and so it's they're trying to build this as a focal point, and then build intellectual capital, and then then it perpetuates like it's a flywheel, and then the one thing I think we're still missing is the cost of living here is still quite high. And generally that that scares away developers and people that are used to sort of living remotely and dealing with life and project-based work. So I think people have come here, like the big shops have come here, not just the exchanges but brokers, foundations. Everyone sees it very welcoming here, and then we now need to perpetuate that and bring more people in, educate everyone, and then the full ecosystem will flourish.
Yeah.
Switching up gears a little, I heard you guys work together.
Yeah.
For a brief moment in time.
I'm gonna need the backstory on this and like how this happened and what the experience was from your side. I needed to know what happened.
Actually, I don't think I told you my side yet.
No, you didn't. But I want to hear.
I don't think I
side.
told you my side either.
Oh, okay. So we're hearing it for the first time. Great.
So how we met was at a company called Midchains, and Midchains actually I think partnered with American University of Sharjah for like internship programs and stuff.
Sick, yeah.
Because for my uni, you needed an internship to graduate. Like,
Yeah.
that was part of the degree. I graduated in the middle of lockdown, and I started getting, which is like June 2020, and I started applying and working like early 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my first full-time paid job was in January.
Yeah.
I was there for about 2 seconds before I'm not gonna mention his name, but the guy from the HR department called me. He's like, "You got the internship," and although it was like an internship, I still ditched the unpaid forensic accounting job because I was like, "This is boring. It's not gonna go anywhere," and this is like a new growing field that I never actually like. It was like back then it was like a weird concept to work in crypto. Like, I know it's a thing now, right? But
it's a
like,
flex now.
But like when I got into it in 2017, it felt like there was no crypto companies in the region, and I felt like they started coming in maybe end of 2020, and so to get it was like getting in a circle. So I was there for about a few weeks. They extended the internship a few times, and then they just that was the story. That was the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I did see Alex firsthand working, and it was actually like an inspiring, building an exchange from the back end. Even if it's like testing out faucets and stuff that, and reporting. It was interesting to see. It was a good learning experience. I learned a lot in that month, more in that month than I did in like a bunch of other companies. Working there for years. So
no, that's awesome. Yeah. So now that you're like entering a new chapter in your life with Redefined, can you tell us a little bit about the journey to actually founding Redefined and what it looks like for you?
Yeah, so I think we've seen people come to crypto exchanges, and they use crypto exchanges because they remove the sophistication required to access the market. Mm-hmm. It looks like a normal app. You sign up, there's a workflow that's the same. The centralized exchanges have the ability to deposit via card or wire, and then you just trade like a normal trading app, whether you have familiarity or that or not. But there's also sort of you have like light versions, which is just buy and not complex. Whereas DeFi is complex, right? And every time someone builds something on DeFi, it's a different platform, right? It's a different URL. There's a different user experience. And so when you're starting, or if you don't have the time to sort of dedicate to learning the ropes, and it's fraught with danger. You can sign wrong contracts. You can make a mistake. So people just stay away. So that's the main concept of what we're trying to build. We're trying to build a unified platform with one unit user experience design, and so when new products come in, we can add them into this front end, and you're still familiar, right? And this is what I think the great apps do, right? Like Kareem and all these other, they try and add new services, but with the same look and feel, right? So you can navigate, you can find it, right?
You're comfortable with it. You've used it before, yeah.
Like you say, I think I assume like most like Google services as well. Once you're in the ecosystem and Apple, you're familiar and you can find out where it goes.
The walled garden.
Yeah. But I mean that's the most important part, right? That's as you say, the user interaction and last mile. So what we've done is we've built a product that does that. And so it allows you to connect your wallets, so hardware wallets, software wallets, and we'll add account abstracted wallets. So, if you account abstracted wallets is like a tool where you can create a wallet and then you don't need to worry about the keys. So this is the key differentiator to allow sort of anyone to access the market. And from that point on, you can go explore DeFi.
Yeah.
And I think this is what crypto was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
This is, it's smart contracts, it's peer-to-peer,
Yeah.
it's engaging in this manner. And, we are just reducing that complexity. And I think, this is the problem. All technology when it starts out is difficult to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to have to type in the computer's commands, right? Like before Windows, right?
Yeah.
Before any graphics. And that adds a barrier to entry. And now you have smartphones which 2-year-olds can use, right? They watch their parents, they look and they go, okay, we swipe up to do this, and so that's where we need to go. If we want to give the market to everyone, we need to remove all the difficulty and build a product people like, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah. I know you're affiliated with the company, so it's like, some people might say like, of course you would say that. I got the honor of looking at a sneak peek of it, and me being familiar with DeFi tools and even me knowing how to use DeFi tools, I hate, like, if I don't need to use it, I avoid it. The Redefined, it is actually like it removes, if a process takes 6 clicks in 2 minutes, Redefined probably does it in 2, right? Like if you wanted to swap from one chain to another, that's like, I used to do it through an atomic swap, and then like you'd lose like so much money on the fees and stuff like that. And then it just removes so many barriers for people to, like, especially the thing is what I, in my opinion, with Redefined is that it is enterprise ready. So like receiving payments as a company, especially if you're a company with like multiple owners and stuff like that, when you need a multi-signature wallet and all these things, it could be a hassle if you just have a normal finance department who doesn't know what a seed phrase is or anything like that. Like most finance departments, not ours, but like like others. I think Redefined kind of fixes that problem. Like, and if you go to any ERP or software as a service solution, they'll come in with a consultant to train your team for a month or whatever. This could be done in like half a day, and it would be seamless. And also, the thing is with what I think you forgot to mention, that the key difference is that you're combining the user experience with the decentralized aspect, right? Like it's like, centralized exchanges might be perfect if it was fully decentralized. Yeah. But it's not. Yeah. Right? And it kind of removes the purpose of what crypto is. And it's like he said, it's like, that's not what crypto is supposed to be. Crypto is supposed to be decentralized. It's supposed to be DeFi without all the complexities and room for human error. And human error could cost. Like, if you're doing it for the first time, people lose money for the first time if they send it to a wrong place.
I did when I first started my journey. I did. Yeah. It's painful.
Yeah, people lose funds. Yeah. And again, like if you're trying to stake and you're using all these different wallets and all these different places, you lose track. And so that's, again, we're consolidating it. But the user experience is a problem for everyone. So like say we hope, the addressable market is everyone. Yeah. Right. So like retail people click in with an email, sign up, have access.
That's it. Yeah.
People like you and me, Yusuf, we connect all our wallets in. We think we're clever. We have 10 wallets, connect them all in, and you have one dashboard, you can read it. Yeah. And then say institutions, they wanna have that same look and feel, and have it also like in a one place to read and understand what they're doing. And so I think it's what crypto should be. So that's why we're building it.
Yeah, trying to measure treasury, like a treasury department that is like has like 3 different MetaMasks and then another Phantom wallet and then another. It's a nightmare. But I think that consolidates that. Did
the inspiration come from finding a gap in the market, or you kind of realizing through your own experiences, why isn't there one place where everything, all of us can live?
the two main drivers. One, people are using crypto with wallets and decentralized manners, and you know, we have lots of great DeFi platforms and services, but they concentrate on one thing to do it well.
Yeah.
Right, and that's great, and I get that. But so then, for us, what we concentrate on is user experience, right? And so, the people doing cross-chain bridges, that's their forte. They do that. People that are looking at dashboards, they can do that. The invest products, they can do that. And we just own that last mile and couture that and make sure that it's consolidated and one. And when new products and services come in, it's easy for us to add, right? And we'll listen obviously to what people want, but at the same time we'll be looking at the market and understanding, right, that this is next. But as you say, with payments as well, like we created an abstraction layer where you can send to emails, you can send to usernames. So again, when you're sending to friends, family, requesting payments, it's more like a PayPal experience, right? That UX, and that's where we're going to get to.
Yeah, I'd say easier than PayPal. PayPal is not as easy as I thought it was when I first made an account there.
Yeah, I think they've gone a bit better, but yeah, it's not as easy as they advertise. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And so where are you at right now with Redefined? Like, what's the next thing that's is it market ready?
So the MVP is ready, and so the stage of the journey we're at is we're pushing it out slowly to some key people to have a look at. About 60% of the project is ready, and so what we want to do again is make sure that we're building something that people want, rather than building something that I think people want or my co-founders or who. We need to reach out and say, right, where are your pain points? What are you building? We've got nice designers, so UX is nice, but we need to make sure that we're addressing pain points in order to scale the business. So we're looking at like the first 100 people to really engage on a personal level, like all of these 100 people. Then we want to scale it to sort of 1,000, go through a similar process, not obviously, hopefully one-on-ones as well. We've got the bandwidth to talk to every single one person at that point. And then I think once we've gone through those two layers of iteration, then it's mass adoption time. Then I think it's away, because I think that's enough market share to sort of understand what the pain points are. No project is perfect, no user experience is perfect, but I think that's enough, and then we'll look to push the product out.
Something you said earlier was zoom out, right? And I believe that you think that because of the moves that you've done in your career in the past X amount of years, right? Has there been a moment at some point, because the industry is so volatile, right? Like whether it was FTX or Lunaterra or insert blank, something happens every year, right? Was there ever a moment where you maybe thought to yourself, oh, this was a good ride, it's done now, but you just pursued and persevered? What made you continue to stay on the path of staying in this industry?
That period of time was rocky for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone that was in the industry was upset of some of these actors, not doing what was right and doing which was wrong, more importantly. And I think lots of people left. Yeah. Right. I think if again, maybe there's a tiny bit of stubbornness from some of us that have been in there long enough, and maybe we committed time. I think maybe that's right. You see, not everyone's super smart all the time, right? But maybe we committed enough time that we were like, well, we know we're good. We know we're trying to do something good. So, let's carry on. So I think it was like that. But definitely, it was a rocky time for everyone. No one was happy. And now if you see, again, you want to zoom out, right? You look at the sort of crypto market cap. It's around the same sort of size, I think, as Apple. But if you think about who's working in crypto, right? We got sort of some of these guys, they're moving out of academia as well. Yeah. To build some of these things. Yeah. Build some of these liquid staking tokens, all of these products, you've got financial services guys, you've got some key influential people that have moved out of Goldman Sachs, moved out of Merrill Lynch. These TradFi guys realize it, right? We've got BlackRock coming in now and going, right, tokenizing our money market funds is a good thing, and it's going to increase the market and make everything better. So with the amount of people and human capital pushing this project forward and this industry, this ecosystem, if you zoom out, you've got to think this is a great play. You've got to think, like no other company would have that amount of talent trying to push. You see how successful, again, Apple is, growing, and Microsoft as well. Like we've got more people than that pushing this thing, from grassroots all the way to governments now. And so it just makes sense. Like it's still an experiment. There's still lots of things that can change, but it just seems. I think in 5 years' time we'll look back and be like, this is obvious, right? I mean, and it always looks good. I mean, you go back to the old Netflix getting laughed out of Blockbuster, right? And but I remember Netflix where it was like
they mailed you out
DVDs, and you had to go back and send it, and like that was terrible user experience. I hate it. Like I ended up just like ditching it, and like I'm busy at work. I go to a post box and then suddenly I've got these fines, right? But like the concept was amazing, and it's scaled so well. And I think this is, we forget, and that's where we are. It's a great concept. There's just the nuts and bolts are all exposed, and we're trying to solve that. And I think we will fix those problems. We will find better use cases for this. We were talking about network connectivity before we came in, and there's deep in projects where you're sharing Wi-Fi, right? Amazing. You've got sort of delivery companies sort of now think about it. We all thought about this in 2016 when we first talked about crypto, and it wasn't ready, but now it's sort of getting there, right? And file sharing and everything can be decentralized.
So now you said about 5 years ago, you're kind of reflecting on the last 5 years. Where do you see the next 5 years into the future for the crypto space in the region, let's say?
I hope, and I'm pushing for this to be the place, right? Mm-hmm. Again, to me, it's not competing with anywhere else. I look around and I look at other jurisdictions that are sort of trying, and they can't compete because, as I say, the government here is totally behind it.
They advocate for it.
We've got the infrastructure and space to bring people here to solve this human capital problem. And then when more and more people come, they share more and more ideas, and then it blossoms. This is hopefully this. I think the aspirations from all the crypto people here is this becomes like the Silicon Valley, right, of crypto, right? And this is where you come if you've got a startup, you come if you're scaling, you come if you want to build new products, and then that puts us on the map, and it allows us to really flourish here.
Most of the right stakeholders are here. You have the government, you have the funds, they're here as well. You have all the exchanges and the talent over here. Everyone's just coming here. Except the weather. The weather for 9 months of the year is just like...
We're going to push that to the side. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for coming on the show. Thank you so much. Any last words you want to say? Follow, subscribe?
Follow, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts, and stay tuned to see where Redefined goes. I mean, it's quite an exciting product, to be honest.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. See you next week.